The summit. In the heart of Neon City, where skyscrapers pulsed with holographic billboards and drones hummed like fireflies, the annual Tech Summit was a spectacle of ambition and power. The year was 2035, and the air buzzed with anticipation as the world's tech titans gathered in the crystalline auditorium of the Nexus Tower. Among them were Elias Vaughn, CEO of Quantum Dynamics, a company pushing the boundaries of artificial intelligence, and Mara Kell, the enigmatic founder of Nexus AI, whose algorithms dominated the digital ecosystem. Their rivalry was legendary, fueled by a shared past and a bitter falling out that neither would discuss publicly. Elias stood at the edge of the stage, his sharp jawline catching the light as he surveyed the crowd. His suit, tailored to perfection, shimmered with nanofibers that adjusted to his body temperature. At 42, he was a visionary who saw AI as humanity's ladder to the stars. Quantum Dynamics' latest project, Aurora, promised to democratize AI, making it accessible to every citizen of Neon City. But whispers in the tech world suggested that Nexus AI, backed by the omnipotent tech conglomerate Omnicorp, was rigging the digital marketplace to suppress competitors. Mara, seated in the front row, exuded quiet confidence. Her silver hair was swept into a sleek bun, and her eyes, augmented with neural lenses, scanned data streams invisible to others. Nexus AI's platform, Synapse, controlled the rankings of every app in Omnicorp's AppSphere, the dominant digital marketplace. Rumors swirled that Synapse algorithms favored Nexus AI's own products, stifling innovation from smaller players like Quantum Dynamics. Elias had had enough. As the keynote began, Elias took the stage, his voice steady but laced with fire. "Innovation is the lifeblood of progress," he declared, his words projected on a massive holoscreen. But when gatekeepers manipulate the rules, they choke the very future they claim to champion. Quantum Dynamics will not stand idly by while monopolies crush the dreams of tomorrow. The crowd erupted in murmurs. Mara's lips curled into a faint smile, but her eyes were cold. In the VIP lounge, a young journalist named Lila Chen scribbled notes furiously. Lila, a rising star at Neon Pulse, had been tracking the feud between Elias and Mara for months. She sensed a story that could redefine her career and expose the underbelly of Neon City's tech empire. Chapter 2, The Spark. Lila's article hit the feeds the next morning, titled "Quantum Dynamics Threatens Legal War Against Omnicorp's AppSphere Bias." It detailed Elias's accusations that Omnicorp's algorithms deliberately buried Quantum Dynamics' Aurora app, costing them millions in potential revenue. The piece quoted an anonymous source claiming Mara had personally overseen tweaks to Synapse's ranking system to favor Nexus AI. The internet exploded. In his penthouse office, Elias paced before a wall of screens displaying real-time data. His chief engineer, Raj Patel, a wiry man with a penchant for bluntness, leaned back in a chair. "You sure about this, Elias? Suing Omnicorp is like poking a dragon with a toothpick. They own half the city." Elias stopped, his eyes glinting. "If we don't fight now, Aurora dies. And with it, our chance to give people control over their own data. This isn't just about us, Raj. It's about breaking their stranglehold." Across town, Mara sat in Omnicorp's boardroom, surrounded by executives in tailored suits. Her deputy, Samir Holt, leaned forward, his voice sharp. "Elias is bluffing. He's always been a showman. But calling us out publicly, that's hypocrisy. He's built his brand on playing the martyr, while his AI scrapes user data just like ours." Mara tapped a finger on the glass table. "He's not wrong about the rankings, Samir. We tweaked Synapse to prioritize our ecosystem. It's business. But if he pushes this lawsuit, it'll drag us into the mud. We need to neutralize him, quietly." Samir raised an eyebrow. "Neutralize? You mean buy him out?" Mara's smile was razor-thin. Or discredit him. Find me something from his past. Everyone has skeletons. Lila, meanwhile, was digging deeper. Her source, a former Nexus AI coder named Tara Voss, had hinted at a personal connection between Elias and Mara. They were friends once, Tara whispered over a secure comms line. More than friends. Until Elias betrayed her. Lila's pulse quickened. A personal angle could elevate her story from corporate drama to human tragedy. The past. 20 years earlier, Elias and Mara had been grad students at Neon University, bound by a shared dream of using AI to solve humanity's greatest challenges. They spent nights in a cramped lab, coding algorithms that could predict climate patterns and optimize energy grids. Mara was the dreamer, her mind a galaxy of ideas. Elias was the pragmatist, turning her visions into reality. Their chemistry was electric, and rumors of a romance swirled among their peers. But ambition drove a wedge between them. When a tech giant offered to fund their project, Elias pushed for a deal that would fast-track their work to market. Mara refused, fearing they'd lose control to corporate interests. The argument escalated, and Elias signed the deal behind her back, securing funding but fracturing their partnership. Mara left to start Nexus AI, vowing never to let anyone control her vision again. Elias founded Quantum Dynamics, carrying the guilt of his choice like a shadow. Now, as Lila uncovered this history, she saw the stakes weren't just corporate, they were deeply personal. Elias's lawsuit wasn't just about AppSphere rankings, it was a chance to redeem his past. Mara's resistance wasn't just about protecting Omnicorp, it was about proving she'd been right to walk away. The lawsuit filed by Quantum Dynamics sent shockwaves through Neon City. Elias's legal team accused Omnicorp of antitrust violations, alleging that Synapse algorithms were designed to suppress competitors, violating fair trade laws. The filing included damning evidence, leaked emails showing Mara instructing engineers to prioritize Nexus AI's visibility in AppSphere. The public was divided. Some hailed Elias as a champion of innovation, others saw him as a grandstanding opportunist. Mara retaliated with a press conference, her voice calm but cutting. Elias Vaughn accuses us of hypocrisy, yet his company profits from the same data practices he decries. Quantum Dynamics isn't the underdog he claims. This lawsuit is a stunt to distract from his own ethical failures. Lila watched the conference from her tiny apartment, her screens buzzing with notifications. Her latest article, The Personal Feud Behind the Tech War, had gone viral, detailing Elias and Mara's shared history. But as the comments poured in, Lila felt a pang of unease. Had she gone too far, exposing their personal lives for clicks? Her editor, a grizzled veteran named Marcus Reed, urged her to keep pushing. This is your Watergate, Lila. Don't back down. At Quantum Dynamics, Elias was under siege. Investors were spooked, and the board questioned whether the lawsuit was worth the risk. Raj, ever loyal, stood by him. We've got the data, Elias. Synapse algorithms are rigged. If we win this, we break Omnicorp's grip. But Elias wasn't sleeping. Nightmares of his betrayal of Mara haunted him. He wondered if this fight was less about justice and more about proving he wasn't the villain she thought he was. The moral dilemma. Lila's investigation led her to a whistleblower named Jonah Blake, a disgruntled Omnicorp engineer who claimed to have proof of Synapse manipulation. Over coffee in a dimly lit diner, Jonah slid a data drive across the table. "This is everything," he said, his voice low. "Code logs, internal memos. It shows Mara knew exactly what she was doing." Lila's hands trembled as she pocketed the drive. This could be the scoop of the decade, but publishing it would destroy Mara's reputation and likely send her to court. Lila thought of her own ambition, her desire to rise in Neon Pulse's ranks. Was she any different from Elias or Mara, chasing power at the expense of others? Meanwhile, Mara faced her own reckoning. Samir had dug up dirt on Elias. A hidden clause in quantum dynamics user agreement that allowed Aurora to harvest sensitive data without clear consent. Releasing it could tank Elias's lawsuit and his public image. But as Mara read the file, she hesitated. She remembered the young man who'd stayed up with her, coding through the night, dreaming of a better world. Was she willing to destroy him to protect her empire? Elias, too, was at a crossroads. Raj had uncovered a way to hack Synapse, exposing its bias in real time to the public. It would be a devastating blow to Omnicorp, but it would also violate every ethical principle Elias claimed to uphold. The irony wasn't lost on him. To fight a monopoly, he might have to become the kind of person he despised. The confrontation. The trial began in Neon City's gleaming courthouse, a spectacle streamed to billions. Elias and Mara faced each other across the courtroom, their eyes locked in a silent battle. Lila sat in the press gallery, her article on Jonah's evidence ready to publish. She titled it The Algorithm's Edge, a nod to the fine line between innovation and exploitation. The prosecution presented Jonah's data, showing how Synapse algorithms favored Nexus AI. Mara's defense team countered with Elias's user agreement, painting him as a hypocrite. The judge, a stern woman named Clara Voss, warned both sides that the truth would come at a cost. This isn't just about code, she said. It's about trust in our systems, and in each other. Outside, protests raged. Supporters of quantum dynamics waved signs reading, "Free the future," while Omnicorp loyalists chanted stability over chaos. Lila's articles had sparked a movement, but she felt the weight of her role. Had she fanned the flames of division for her own gain? Late one night, Elias and Mara met in secret at a rooftop bar overlooking Neon City. The air was thick with tension, the city's lights reflecting their fractured past. "You didn't have to do this," Mara said, her voice soft but sharp. "You could have competed fairly." Elias leaned against the railing, his face weary. "And you could have let Aurora breathe. You buried us, Mara. Just like I buried you all those years ago." Mara's eyes glistened, but she didn't look away. "We both made choices. The question is, what do we do now?" The resolution. The trial reached its climax as Lila published her exposé, revealing the full extent of Synapse manipulation. The article included a bombshell. Mara had ordered a last-minute change to Synapse, not to crush competitors, but to protect Omnicorp from a cyber attack that could have exposed millions of users' data. The tweak had unintended consequences, burying apps like Aurora. The revelation shifted public perception. Mara wasn't a villain, but a leader caught in an impossible choice. Elias, too, gained sympathy as his own data practices were scrutinized. The judge ruled that Omnicorp must open Synapse algorithms to independent audits, ensuring transparency. Quantum Dynamics was ordered to revise Aurora's user agreement, prioritizing consent. In the aftermath, Elias and Mara met again, this time in a quiet park. The city felt different, less hostile, more hopeful. "I'm sorry," Elias said, his voice raw. "For back then. And for now." Mara nodded, her expression softer. "I'm sorry too. We both wanted to change the world. Maybe we still can." Lila watched from a distance, her recorder off. Her final article, The Human Cost of Innovation, didn't just report the facts, it told